we judge other people by their actions, but we judge ourselves by our intentions.
Today we are at the Execution Summit, May 4th, 2025, and we are here with Keyon, right?
Yes.
So could you tell me what execution looks like in your ecosystem?
Execution to me is actually doing something. It's action. I think that, we have a culture of people that want to plan, they want to get ready, they want to start. Like I said in my speech, some people get ready to get ready. It's like Nike, right? It never gets old. Just do it. Like, do something.
Absolutely. So many people are stuck in the planning phase, and you're saying get to work, take some action, start
Yes.
immediately. Okay. So there was a couple interesting pieces of information I heard in your speech. You mentioned something about the number of thoughts people have in a day.
Yes.
Could you expand on that?
So throughout a 24-hour process, your mind could actually have anywhere between 60,000 and 80,000 thoughts. But as powerful as it is, it can't have two opposing thoughts at the same time.
Okay.
And so if you're thinking of something negative, you can't think of something positive in that same space. So which is the reason why when people are having a bad day and they're spiraling out of control is because they're constantly thinking about, oh, I stubbed my toe, oh, I got a flat tire. And so while you're in that space of thinking of those negative things, you can't shift, you can, and you have to, and you must shift your mindset into being more solution oriented, not problem bound.
Okay. So what does that process look like of switching your mindset and also knowing how and when you should be shifting that mindset?
Well, how really comes from practice. And I think that's what a lot of people don't get, right? It's like, I always tell people, if you're riding a horse and you fall off the horse, you get back on the horse. Now, it may take you, let's just say, since we're talking about the shifting of thoughts, right? Let's just say it take you an hour. Okay, well, the next time you fall off, let's try to get that hour down to 50 minutes. So each time you're able to do it a lot quicker, right? And so it's like, okay, I have a negative thought, I feel bad, somebody made me mad, somebody cut me off in traffic. Like, how long am I sitting in that space, right? And practicing shortening that time.
Okay.
So now what'll happen is if I keep working on it, keep practicing, then I can get to a point when it happens, or I can catch it before it even happens.
Love it. So that was going right into my next question. So now that we understand that it's important to shift a mind shift, how do we audit the thoughts we're having, know what's a good thought, what's a bad thought, and how do we prioritize what to improve?
I think the biggest thing is being a gatekeeper to your mind,
Okay.
right? And so I teach a lot of my clients that you have to just go overboard, or what a lot of people would say, OD, right? OD what, positive thoughts, positive things, and what it is that you want. And so you just have more of that in you, right? Because again, the true essence of something, once you squeeze it, it comes out. And so that's what it shows. So if you're constantly around negative energy and negative people and, looking negative things and stuff like that, then when life squeezes you, that's what's going to come out.
Okay. So I love that. Let's focus on positivity. Let's squeeze out negativity. Now, is there something in the middle? Is there something that's often overlooked that people should be trying to push out of their mindset that maybe is overlooked?
Well, in my book, I talk about there's different types of healing, right? And so for some people, they do have to go back into the past and clean out the wound in order to go further. But for some people, they can run so far towards their future that they don't have to wrestle with that past.
Okay.
And so, it looks different to different people,
Okay.
right? As far as that thing that's in the middle. And I also like to tell people, like, okay, well, positive thinking isn't an absolute,
Right.
but it increases the probability of what it is that you really want, right? So like, in other words, like thinking positive just isn't going to have me have $1 million fall out of the sky, right? But it increases the probability of my success versus negativity.
Okay. So I imagine, since you mentioned your book, that you have organized this wisdom in written form. Could you tell me about the book, how you started, and maybe some keynotes from it? I know you probably touched on them here in the conversation.
Okay, so what happened was I used to do motivational mixtapes. So I would speak my motivational speaking over hip hop instrumentals, and CDs went obsolete, right? They don't even make them in the cars anymore. So I wrote a book about 2 years ago called Quit on Quitting, and the purpose of it is because once you start to quit, it becomes a habit, like I touched on in the speech. And so, quitting is never a good thing, right? Again, we could quit bad habits, right? But the quitting of the bad habit, right, is choosing us,
Right.
right? So some people try to be smart alecks and they be like, well, what about smoking? Should I not quit on quitting when it comes to smoking, right?
Right.
Like, well, you smoking, you quit on your health.
Exactly. So, would you say there's almost a certain amount of effort it takes to even engage in the action of quitting? It takes effort, I imagine, and consistency to quit. So, you're saying we could quit that?
I think that, again, it's being more intentional,
Mm,
right? And more accountable,
right.
right? One of the things I talk about all the time is that we judge other people by their actions, but we judge ourselves by our intentions.
Okay.
Right?
Wow.
And
Okay.
so being accountable for what you do or don't do.
So repeat that part for me about judging ourselves and our intentions. Is that correct?
So we judge others by their actions and we judge ourselves by our intentions.
That's beautiful. So remind me again one more time for our audience. What is the name of your book?
It's quit on quitting.
Quit on Quitting. I love it. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you.
Part two, added insight. We're ready.
So your mind is so powerful. Here's how powerful your mind is. Your mind is so powerful it can't distinguish the difference between a thought and a reality.
Really?
So here's what that means. You go through a breakup, and over a 30-day period, you done thought about it 10 times a day. So it only happened once, but in your mind it happened 3,000 times. And each time it happens, you go through the same feelings all over again. And that's how a lot of people be stuck in that space and why it hurts so bad and they feel like they can't move on. And that's how powerful your mind is.
So how much of that do you think is like a habit, something that it just happens by nature versus something that we could be trained out with discipline?
Well, again, you have to be intentional about it. So if I'm stuck in, I can't move past this relationship, I can't move past this hurt, right? We're speaking those things. There's two parts of your mind. You have the thinker side and the prover side. So the prover side must prove what the thinker side is thinking. So if I'm thinking I can't move on, then the prover side has to prove I can't move on, and all of those feelings come over me, and I'm experiencing that heartbreak over and over and over and over again.
Wow. I'm proud of you, man. I can tell how passionate you are about it. I love it. So how about this then? One more message to anybody that thinks that there's something besides execution that's stopping them. What do you have a message to those people?
You can make excuses or you can make it happen, but you can't do both at the same time.
Love it. Let's end it right there. Appreciate it.
Have a good one.